Welcome to Nintendo Engineers. I'm your host, Chris Tysis, and we're here to talk about something a little bit different about the latest school shooting at Parklands. Now, basically, this happens every time when there's an American shooting, that video games get the blame for it. Now, President Trump has said on Thursday that violent video games and movies may play a role in school shootings, a claim that has been made and rejected many times since the increase in such attacks in the past 2 decades that the NewYorkTimes.com is reporting. He says, movies are so violent. He said at a meeting on school safety one day after he gathered with survivors of school shooters, including some of those from the massacre at the majority Stoneman Douglas High School, where the authorities say a former student, the person who killed these 17 people. Now, he goes on to say, we have to look at the internet because a lot of bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their minds are being formed. And we have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, and also video games. I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's minds. And he says, there's the movies too. They're so violent, and yet a kid is able to see the movie if sex isn't involved, but killing is involved. Basically, the killer who killed 17 people apparently played video games up to 15 hours a day. So, basically, this happens all the time about violence and video games and things like that. And time after time, it's been proven that video games and violence and school shootings have nothing to do with it. There's been research about that sort of stuff. It's very sad about what happens in America. But personally, I have become pretty desensitized to the situation. The situation is not going to change. Americans hold very dear to the heart about the amendments, the First and Second Amendment. And to be honest, with Sandy Hook, a bunch of very young children being shot to death. America's love of guns is much higher than people's lives. It's true. It doesn't matter how many children die. It could be 17, it could be hundreds, it could be thousands, it could be into tens of thousands. There are just people in America who don't want to give up their gun rights. So I don't see the situation changing. I say good on the school students who are trying to make that change, but the American politicians are being bribed to keep these policies going. So it's, America's a fairly has a corrupt sort of political system. So I guess I'm lucky here in Australia because our schools don't get shot up. We have free healthcare. And I think Australia is a much more better country than America. We have a lot of things going for us. Okay, we have a few racist issues and a few backwards type things, but I don't think we're in such a mess as America is. Maybe one day America will wake up and solve their problems, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So, don't blame the video games. Might have something to do with the guns. But America will never change. So, that's it for me, and I shall see you next time.